Hello everyone, I hope that you are all surviving this heat of the summer if you are on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, I was just over there and it was pretty nice weather. I am sorry as well that I have been away for a little bit. I think I said in my last video that I wasn't completely sure of how my schedule will look this summer, because that's when sometimes I'll do a video every 3 weeks until school starts again, and then I usually get back into my routine of every other week. So we're just trying to see how it goes. It looks like as of now it's becoming like a video every 3 weeks, but if you guys have any ideas for videos that I should do this summer, definitely leave that down below. That will help inspire me to do it every other week instead of every 3 weeks. But let's get into the video. I am rambling enough, and today's video is going to be about how to deal with difficult parents in the school setting. Now, a difficult parent doesn't necessarily mean like an angry or an argumentative parent, even though that is definitely included in this definition I'm giving. But a difficult parent can also be a parent that is not receptive to what the school finds that the child needs to succeed in school. Or a difficult parent could be a parent doing the opposite, where they are trying to demand so much more than the child actually needs, when their child is actually functioning just fine in the school setting. A difficult parent may be a parent that is trying to fight you on the findings that you're finding, essentially, or even bringing in like an advocate because they're not getting what they want. These can all be considered part of a difficult parent that you may encounter in the school system. If you want to know what you can do as a school and as a team and for yourself, well then this video is for you, so keep watching. So I usually like doing 5 things, so that's what this video is going to be on. 5 things you can do to work with a difficult parent. So the first thing that I have that you can do is definitely work together as a team. I don't know if your team is usually together or if you guys are on all different sides, but when you have a parent that is doing these things, you want to make sure that you guys are all on the same team and working together as a school. And what I mean by that is maybe just making sure you have all the documents together, making sure that everyone on the team knows what those scores mean and know what everyone is doing. So what is happening in the classroom, what tests were completed for an evaluation, all those little things. And maybe even have like a meeting, like a little pre-meeting if possible, to kind of just go over those results with each other to make sure everyone understands, because you don't want to go into the meeting with a parent that might be difficult and all of you are on different sides and no one is on the same page and no one knows what anyone is doing with the kid, because then it seems like you really don't know what you're doing and you really don't know what's going on. So if you can, like, just making sure you have a meeting so that everyone knows, like, okay, this is what the kid is getting in class, this is what you did with the kids, that we can build a full picture so that we know what we're working with. This isn't like a meeting to go behind the parents' back and try to be like, okay, like this is what we're doing. No, but just a meeting so that you guys all understand what is being done in the school to help the kids, so you guys have the most information and the best information and all the information that you possibly could before going ahead to the meeting with the parent that already knows what they want. You guys want to look cohesive. You guys don't want to just look cohesive, actually, you really want to be cohesive. Another thing that you can do is definitely set boundaries and norms at the beginning of meetings. So I know certain districts and schools do this already, but if your school does not, that is something that can be done, because like how I said, a difficult parent could also be a parent that is argumentative. And I've heard stories of parents coming into meetings and calling everyone names and calling them out of their name and just being disrespectful in general. And if you make it a norm and you go through this at the beginning of the meeting and you say this is not going to be tolerated, and if anyone does that, the meeting is terminated, the meeting is over, because no one should have to be treated that way anyway, then we all know that. We're all on the same page. So if someone does do that in the meeting, you can just stop it. And it won't be a surprise. No one can hold that against you because these were the rules that we went over in the beginning of the meeting. And this is what we all agreed to. So if any of that's broken by anyone in the meeting, then it's over. So I think that's a good way to kind of keep everyone as peaceful as possible, because especially if the parent really wants something, and if they are a parent that is usually argumentative, they don't want the meeting to end. So maybe they will be a little less argumentative and not call you out of your name. Also, those meetings can go on for a long time. So kind of just making sure that maybe a norm can be, when are we starting the meeting and when is it ending? And we want to have a timekeeper to make sure that we stick to those times. So just things like that you might not normally need at a regular meeting. When it's a meeting with parents or family that may be considered difficult, it's not a bad idea to make sure that you definitely have those norms and regulations given at the beginning of the meeting before you even start talking about anything that we think that the student or child needs. Third thing, which I think is really important in general, but extra important when you are working with families such as these, is to document everything. So if you can, when having a meeting, maybe like audio record. If you're communicating with the school and the family, having it through email so that you can refer back to the time and how many times it was sent, all of those things. Even having someone taking notes on top of the audio recording while in the meetings, like having a note taker, because you want to make sure that we have as much evidence as possible to say that we are doing our due diligence, that we are doing what we are supposed to do. And you don't want anyone coming back later and saying, well, you said this or you did that, and maybe that didn't happen, right? But if you don't have any proof of that, how are you going to prove it? So it's just better if you have everything documented, because then you can say like, no, like right here, we have it that this and this and this and the other thing. So definitely document all the time anyway, but for sure document if you are working with a difficult parent, especially if they have an advocate or bringing in like the district or anything above you, so that you guys can cover your own back, and also just so you can refer back to it for yourself as well. The fourth thing is, if you need extra support, take it. So for example, usually in the meeting, you just have whoever's in the school. So let's say that you have the psych, the social worker, speech pathologist, occupational therapist, the teacher, whoever else you need in the meeting, right? And you just have whoever that person is in the school. But sometimes if you have a difficult parent and they're trying to go above you and they're trying to bring in like lawyers or things like that, or take you to court, it probably isn't a bad idea then to maybe bring in your supervisor, to bring in the leads, to bring in the people who have been doing this for years and years and years. Because while you are great at what you do, you really are, if this is the first time it's happening, it's just unknown territory for you. So people who have done this before, it's best to just have them in, and maybe they won't even say anything because they might not even need to, but at least you have them there in case if you need that extra support, extra knowledge, and then they know what's going on as well, and they can help you through it. Because at least like for me, my supervisors, they are amazing. They want to help you as best as they can and support you. So if you need it, or something, if you're in a situation where something like this is happening, like they'll be more than happy to come and help you. So use those extra supports if you have them and if you can, because it will just make it so much easier for everyone. The last thing that I have, it's to keep the kid at the center at all times. So regardless of what's happening, if you guys at the school are all doing everything that you can, you're doing it to the best of your ability, and what you are doing is in the best interest of the kid, that's all you can do. Regardless of how difficult a parent or a family may be, if you are doing what is best as a school and you guys have the evidence of that, then you are doing everything you need. It might seem scary that you're having meetings like this. It might seem like, oh my gosh, I feel like, I'm gonna get in trouble. But if you are seriously doing everything that you can for the kid and with the best interest of the kid, don't worry about it, because that's the point, right? That's the point of our job, to make sure that we are helping the kid the best that we can. We can only do so much. We can't do everything. We're not We're not superheroes, but that's okay. So if you're doing that, just please remember that that's the most important. So I hope this video was helpful. I am sure that plenty of you have already experienced difficult families, and if you haven't yet, being in the field for a long time, eventually you are bound to. So I hope that this is helpful for any future parents and families that you may encounter that may be difficult. And I only gave 5 ways to help. There are plenty more ways that you can work with these families. So if any of you have ideas and things that you used in the past working with difficult families, please leave that down below. That'll be helpful for me, be helpful for other people, especially if they're going into their first year. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you just have any other video ideas in general, let me know, because like I said, it's the summertime. I'm a little more relaxed, especially in July where I'm not doing anything. So the videos may come out a little later. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your weekend or day or whatever time it is, all right? Bye, guys.